that's why I got kind of confused why people got disappointed.
Welcome back to Gaming Backlog. I'm Vina.
And I'm Shell, and today we're talking about Emio. Emio is coming out really soon, and that 15-second teaser surprised the hell out of me. Like, Nintendo making a horror game? Dude, it just seemed so weird. Because if you think of Nintendo, the first thing that probably comes to mind is Mario.
Yeah, that's true, but Nintendo's been around for a while and they've made a lot of different games since. You also mentioned Super Mario, and that franchise alone has tried a lot of different games under its little umbrella. But we also know that Nintendo likes to keep it family friendly, so it's wild that they're actually playing their cards on Emio as the first rated M game developed by Nintendo.
Yeah, I think they've milked the Mario franchise for so long, like maybe Pokemon being the close second, I guess. Honestly, it's refreshing to revive an old game with a new story in the Famicom Detective Club series, at least.
Yeah, especially a franchise that hasn't honestly seen the light of day for over 30 years. So it kind of begs the question, what really is Famicom Detective Club about? So if you get into it, Famicom Detective Club is an adventure game duology developed and published by Nintendo for the Family Computer Disk System.
Is that why it's called Famicom? Family
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Might have been obvious from the start, okay? I'm sorry.
It's fine, you're a little sprout. Well, the first two entries are The Missing Heir and The Girl Who Stands Behind, and they were released in 1988 and 1989 respectively. And they were Yoshio Sakamoto's first writing project before he got success with Metroid. And the duology was inspired by a 1983 adventure game called The Portopia Serial Murder Case, published by Enix. Not to be confused with Square Enix, those are two completely different publishers for some reason. In 1997, they released a third entry called the BS Tante Club, The Past That Disappeared in the Snow. Long but cool title, honestly.
Honestly, the one that I thought of is it's one of those Fall Out Boy song titles.
No, yeah, exactly. But yeah, this particular entry is pretty cool because it's not exactly played the traditional way. It was played through a Satellaview, which is like a satellite modem add-on made for Nintendo Super Famicom system that was made back in the 90s. Kind of like a Japanese radio company would basically broadcast games at a particular time, and then you download them using Satellaview to play.
That's so interesting though, because the principle of it kind of sounds like how we get our games today, don't you think? It just sounds like the principle of Steam, going through Steam and then you get the game through online and just download it to your PC or to your. I mean, that's how some PS5 or PS4 games work now, right? They can just download it straight to your console. That's
really true, super true. Although, as innovative as it seemed, it sadly did not do actually commercially well, as it was discontinued by June 2000 and never really reached distribution outside of Japan.
Oh, that sucked. Well, Satellaview, wow, so that Steam could run.
Yeah, and the games we mentioned were honestly just only released in Japan until the localized Switch remakes came in 2021 only, and finally made it known worldwide. So
yeah, I haven't really played Famicom Detective Club, so since the remakes are here, maybe there's a chance.
Yeah.
And now with Emio, it's a new entry for Famicom Detective Club. So and it's a visual novel, and I heard some people got a little disappointed after that fact. I mean, that 15-second teaser just really shook everybody. I guess it also got everybody hooked, and it seemed like a promising horror game as far as I've heard from everybody. I also expected that too. But personally, I wasn't too disappointed to hear that it was a visual novel, because it's a murder mystery visual novel, which kind of reminded me of Ace Attorney, which by the way, I just started playing because it was on sale some time ago on the Nintendo eShop, so I have it on a Switch.
Actually, because Ace Attorney, it honestly feels like its own cultural movement of sorts, because I don't know, is that too bold to say? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot of Ace Attorney, so
it's a big fandom, I guess. So
yeah, it was even though I haven't played it, it's popular enough that I've heard wind of. I got wind of it. I mean,
it really was a series that I think popularized the visual novel game in a legal drama detective kind of scope. I'd like Emio, honestly, to have its gameplay in tandem with its story elements when it comes out, because to really create that character immersion and that suspense that really can draw players to those kinds of games. Much like how, honestly, I experienced personally the Ace Attorney series. Each episode in the game lets you witness the scene of the murder, usually omnipotently, and then investigate the crime scene and interrogate related people, and then the trial, where you can listen to witness testimony and cross-examine their statements against your opponent prosecutor, who can sometimes be really hot. Anyway, it really is super fun to play, especially with like that anticipation and that suspense as you just try to figure out who the true criminal is.
That's what I liked about Ace Attorney. It's really interesting. It really made me more immersed in the story since I have to look for clues and such. It also kind of reminded me of another popular game series back in the 2000s. It's called Mystery Case Files, if you heard of it.
I've heard about it briefly before, but I think you need to refresh me if it's okay.
Yeah, of course. So Mystery Case Files is more of a point and click hidden object puzzle kind of game with a more horror or supernatural setting to it. So basically you're a detective. Well, actually in the game you're actually called Master Detective. You go solve puzzles by looking for hidden items and solving puzzles to progress. It still has that visual novel aspect to it because usually the story begins, you're a Master Detective, someone calls to you to come to their area and like solve what's happening because like something weird is coming into their area, I mean. And since every MCF game has a story, and it got pretty popular in the 2000s, especially with the Ravenhurst saga. I think the Ravenhurst saga got 6, 7 games, with the latest one actually just released last year, I think. I don't know. I really love Mystery Case Files. Like, it's a childhood game for me. So when I hear visual novel, I'm kind of expecting Emio to be the same as those games. Although I'm not exactly expecting it to have like a hidden object puzzle or puzzle aspect for Emio. But that's why I got kind of confused why people got disappointed. I don't know. Or I think expectations were just really high because of the teaser trailer. They were hyping themselves up for a bone-chilling horror game rather than a murder mystery visual novel. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people tend to pigeonhole visual novels into just dating sims or a digital romance novel, which is not bad. There are a lot of really good stories out there from visual novels, but I can understand that notion because there are a lot of romantic ones and of that kind. But people can forget sometimes, I think, that it's not the only form of visual novel out there. Like what we said, we have Ace Attorney, and then we have Mystery Case Files. And as someone who enjoys a really good story, I'm really intrigued on how Famicom will cement, honestly, its grand return after 30 years.
Yeah, you know? It's been 30 years. Yeah, it's an entirely new generation.
And lots of expectation, I think, as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And while I feel that I could find similarities between Emio and Ace Attorney, with both being like the visual novel format mainly, I do feel like story-wise, they can really go crazy on Emio's part because especially with the M rating, you could tackle so many other themes and concepts in a more mature lens. I can imagine the story can really push the envelope on that, on themes, and just really hopefully wow the players if it's done well.
Yeah, honestly, personally, I can't get over how refreshing it is to see Nintendo in-house release a game like this.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong though, like we love Mario. Like if y'all visit our website, you know that if there's a Mario title out, we got you. We'll cover it. But you can't deny it has been mostly Mario related titles with the occasional Pokemon or Zelda sprinkled in there. But Famicom Detective Club seemed to have a positive reception in Japan when it came out, and with the remakes out, it seems to be gaining traction, especially with the epic marketing of Emio. I mean, hello. Y'all can't deny that you guys got shook when...
Yeah, those few seconds were enough to get my attention and creep me out in a really good way. Because no explanation what it was, right? It just went blank on the video.
Yeah, there was barely anything to explain what that was. And it definitely got y'all's attention. Our
good
attention.
marketing move.
Yeah, it was a good marketing
move. Honestly, it's good that Nintendo is giving the spotlight to other unique franchises, especially now that Famicom Detective Club, like what you said, introduces games to a newer, younger audience.
Yeah, newer generation. And it gives the game franchise a new life, from the 2021 remakes to the new entry coming out. And, you know, who knows? Maybe Nintendo can start producing more murder mystery titles in the future. I don't know, that'll be really exciting for me.
I'd be so into that.
Yeah, I may have been using this word a lot, but it is refreshing to see something new aside from Mario titles.
Yeah, honestly, if this means we can have more really thought-provoking murder mystery games and content, I'm down. I'm honestly very down.
It's still Nintendo, so it's still gotta be family friendly, but at least they will have more titles to experiment on in the future, starting with Emio. And that'll be cool. That'll be really cool.
Yeah. So with that, we want to ask, are you all excited for Emio? And what kind of game would you want Nintendo to release? Why not sound off in the comments below? Tell us.
Yeah.
Now. Please.
Let us know. And if you want to keep up to date with our content and are looking for videos on all things gaming, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and click that notification button. And don't forget our other socials too. They're all down in the description below. But for now, this has been Shell.
And Bina.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Adios.
Oh, adios. Adios.
Sorry.
Adios, partner.